Hey, what is up, everybody? This is your boy AJTRIP, and welcome to That's a Shoot. Excuse me, the weekly audio show. We'll talk about what's going on in the world of professional wrestling. And what went on this week was the season 3 premiere of Unreal. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about it and give our thoughts on it. So this is season 3, like I said, and then the first episode was the Why. It starts with Cena, and Cena talking about the why. He's talking about the why, and he gives the why as to why he's doing this match with Logan Paul, and then during Logan Paul doing their they're going over everything. He's giving the why to Logan Paul. Cena gives his opinion on ruining wrestling. It involves it being a boring, match, which was actually kind of incredible, and I thought that was good. Good part. However, the WrestleMania match that was not that great. It was okay. But with Cody and Cena at WrestleMania, having Hunter jokes around saying that having shitty matches might be okay to ruin wrestling, but it might ruin the company. So he's so then he has to change his view on ruining wrestling. Hunter tells him that he still got it to give the fans the greatness. He doesn't have to do shitty matches. He can still go out and give the greatness. As John Cena starts to fade, Triple H wants to start looking at the young folks, and we go to Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker obviously introduces himself, and we're at the Clash in Paris pay-per-view in 2005, I believe so, 2005, and we're at the point now where Braun can't believe that Roman is going to let him, and Bronson destroy him. This is a match where Roman beats Bronson Reed. This was after Bronson Reed jacked him of his shoes. Roman, he was calling himself the Shulafala, the tribal thief. So, this is when Roman takes his shoes, he signs them and starts throwing them out to the crowd. But Braun Breaker comes out and completely murders him. And this is where they do the stretcher job for Roman. Here, excuse me. And Bronson can't believe that he's going to do that for him. And Triple H says him. Well, somebody can do it for him. Get him to where he is. So he's going to do that for you because he knows that's how this business continues going. Keep building and building the new guys. So, then they transfer to the CM Punk and Seth Rollins stuff. And then we talk about the AJ Lee. AJ Lee comes up and everything like that, and the AJ Lee story is being told. Which, by the way, when Michael Cole was promoting this as Cena leaving and one fan for return, I thought he was talking about Paige. Yeah, I just thought it was talking about Paige. I forgot that it's AJ Lee that quickly. It's AJ Lee. AJ said she couldn't feel her, AJ Lee, until she got out into the arena. She was saying that she just, as she was saying it was still AJ Mendez. That she couldn't, and that she couldn't feel the AJ Lee until she got out there. When she got out there, it just kind of snapped back. She started skipping and everything like that, right? There's no question from this episode and throughout the entire thing of Unreal that Punk absolutely just loves AJ. That's that's a that's how you know someone loves someone else, and that's how you're supposed to love them. And they've been married several years, and he is still in love with that woman. And it was very nice, very sweet to see. We're going back to Cena, and now we're at the Respalooza episode, the Resolution show. And Cena's practicing with the kid. Remember on that show, all the kids came out. There was a bunch of yellow, and all the kids came out, and they were, and they were doing all this. This is also the episode that Brock Lesnar squashed, Cena. The why for Brock squashing Cena at WrestlePalooza was to give Brock his stuff so that he can give it away. And look what he's doing now to Hobo. So that's how this business goes. That's what some of the fans don't understand, and they just don't get. They still don't get it. And some Nimrod was on Twitter saying that Cena was wrong for wanting to go out the way he wanted to go out. That Cena was wrong for going the way out that he wanted to go out. The self-importance and entitlement with some of these people out here is just insane. You're going to tell Cena he's wrong for doing what he wanted to do. Fuck you. And fuck anybody who thinks like that. You're a dumb motherfucker. So, afterwards, and there was some talk around this time about it, that it was supposed to be Cena and Drew McIntyre. However, he wanted to give something back to the fans after the Brock squash, so he asked about AJ Styles, and of course he put it out on Twitter. Punk versus Cena versus AJ Styles. What do you think? And they all agreed, and so then they followed the crowd, and they did the AJ Styles match. And what I liked about Cena talking about this was that they had already decided matches they were going to do. They were going to do the moves of some of their people that maybe they couldn't wrestle or something like that anymore, because AJ was going away in January. Cena was leaving the next month, and so what was he gonna do? And so they were doing that, and according to Cena, some of the moves that they did he wasn't even supposed to do the RKO. The crowd started chanting for the RKO, and he did it. And then they started chanting for 619. Cena says he never done 619 in his life. He decided, okay, I'm going to do this though. But I'm going to do it. And he told him that he's going to drop Toto on him, so he's going to run to the clothesline, so close him back. So when he runs back, clothesline him, because he can't do 619. So okay, so obviously the thing when he goes off the bat to run, and Styles breaks it up. But they gave the crowd a little bit of the thing, and also we got the crowd to finish the AJ Styles match, and it was incredible. I'm not sure, because I'm sure that there are probably some things where some wrestler faced another wrestler, maybe 4 or 5 times, and each one was like a 5-star classic. And realistic, if I think, not the fucking New Japan shit that Dave Meltzer wants you to believe. But if you think about it, AJ Styles and John Cena have wrestled one-on-one matches 4 times. 3 of those 4 are 5-star classics. And the 4th one is a very good one as well. So it's kind of insane the kind of stuff that they have together. And then that was the episode 1 of the Y. Second episode was The Last Time Is Now. They talk about CM Punk thinks that him and John are like wrestling soulmates. They've always had great matches together, and he's always enjoyed working with Cena. They talk about Punk doing the Punkonomics bit was great, and during in the middle of his thing. By the way, but John Cena thought it was too long. Can Punk do this? But he thought Punk pulled it off very well, and he did. He put it off great. But Punk, in the middle of his Punkonomics rap, he sends a genuine message to Cena, and he says, "I'm gonna miss you." And you can see John Cena just like kind of close his eyes, and Punk goes back to doing his Punkonomics rap. So it's a great. So then we get to the self stuff, and Self is the world champion after cashing the Money in the Bank and things like that, and he's having the match for the Crown Jewel belt with Cody, and he's hurt himself. So they decided what we're going to do is we're going to turn it on. They're going to decide to turn on Seth and make the vision about Braun and Bronson. And I love this part. This is part of Unreal that I love. Backstage when they're going over it, Seth is telling Braun, hit me as hard as you fucking can. Don't pull it. We gotta make this shit look good. And Heyman is telling Braun, if you pull this and it looks like shit, the fucking money is gone. The fucking money is gone. You're gonna be fucking with everybody's money. Braun apologizes before the thing. They go out there, they do the whole thing, and then Braun doesn't pay him. He absolutely spears Seth Rollins, and everything works out fine. So then, when after Seth gets injured, they have a quandary. Do they go with somebody new? There were some people out there that thought that they should go with Braun Breaker and put the title on Braun Breaker. Thinking about it, I don't think they could have been bad anyway, because going the way that they did, leading with Punk and Roman, it was great. And Braun and Roman would have been great, and you could have had Seth. It could be one of those crazy things where Seth is helping Roman to beat Braun Breaker because of the vision. So it's a lot of things you can do. Although who knows, but it's just a thing. But anyway, they choose to go with Punk, and they get the Punk match with Jay at Saturday Night's Main Event, and they go Punk. So they transfer from Punk winning the title to Liv Morgan coming back, and they're now go to Liv Morgan, she's talking about it, and the craziest fucking thing. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. I don't know what any of them think. Leah was thinking. I don't know what Netflix was thinking. The producers. She's sitting down on. She has a farm, so she's on her farm, and she's doing her. At least she did the start of her interview. I think she did pretty much a part of her interview under a hornet's nest, and the hornets just started going down and like trying to attack her. She thinks it's because she was dressed like as a sunflower. And you can look up, and there's a. It's not like a really big built one or anything like that, like the big giant ones they build, but it's starting to be built. Like, what are you doing? Those are not bees. on vacation. They just do. But that's Liv. We know Liv is kind of a crazy person in real life, so that's Liv. So she talks about her start into WWE and wrestling. She's been a fan for a while. She was working at Hooters, and she was, being trained by a trainer who was also training Stephanie and Triple H, and she was somehow to work that relationship with that trainer into getting it like a tryout for the WWE, and everything like that is fine. So Bruce Pritchard, he pitches Liv to come back at Survivor Series to help Dom. Because we've got the John Cena Dominic Mysterio match happening in San Diego, Dom's hometown, at Survivor Series. So it works out great. Cena wanted everybody to get some shine. He wanted Roxanne to get some shine. He wanted Raquel to get some shine, JD and Finn Balor to get some shine. He wanted to put the attention on everybody else. So, and we see the backstage stuff of that, how it happens, Liv Morgan coming out, everything like that. And even Cena says she does the heel turn face better than John did, and she does. And it's such I don't know how it happened, but when she's on Cena, and you can barely see her eyes, but as her face turns, like the thing, like you can see like from like a thing eye to seeing these bright blue eyes, and it's the insane one. Of course, Dominic wins back and everything like that. So, but a good job. She was very happy that Cena would allow her to do that. Especially kicking him in the balls. Cena made a joke that, denim. That's denim. That helps with the kick being kicked in the balls. So, all you guys want to know, wear denim if you know you're going to get kicked in the balls. So then we get to the Saturday. It's time for Cena's last match in Saturday Night's main event. So Cena has the idea, legitimate, that is his idea, to showcase the other stars from NXT. And he wants, so they do like, they get Oba and Soul and Javon Evans. They don't mention the guy from the TNA X Division champion at the time, who was also working with Javon Evans. Don't mention him, but he was there as well. And they go through all of these and have the match, and then they have the Cena's match. And again, Cena doesn't want to. He didn't want to do his last match of Mania. He wanted to do it in the worst financial quarter for the WWE, which is the fourth quarter. You want to do this because then you get a sold out house, you get some big television ratings, you get money drawn. That's what he wanted to do. He wanted to bring the business up in the worst financial quarter, which was amazing. So Punk sees a 2005 clip. He's scrolling on Instagram, and he sees a clip where Cena and Batista are tag teaming with Hogan in a it's a 6-man tag, and afterwards Cena and Batista, they put the titles on Hogan and give the titles to Hogan for Hogan and things like that. So Punk gets the idea to do that for Cena, and he's backstage. He's telling Cody that that's what they're going to do. Cody goes, "Does Cena know?" He says no, and Cody, being the unbelievable mark that he is, I love him for it. I don't mean that in any bad way. I love the fact that Cody's the biggest mark for the business there is. He goes, "Damn, I wish I was." So it's incredible. So we go through it again. Cena talks about this is what he wanted. He wanted to go out. He said he knew he was fixing Gunther before the Dominic Mysterio match Survivor Series. So he already knew he was facing Gunther. So they had him do all the other things, and he already knew what he was going to do. To never give up, guy gives up. And many level-headed people knew that Cena was going to lose. And the backlash from him tapping out, I've always thought was insane. Again, I just a couple minutes ago told you the story about the moron on Twitter who thought Cena was wrong for going out the way he went out. Oh, he went out the way he went out, and that's the way you're supposed to do it. And that's what he did. He went out giving stuff better. Now, again, I will say to you that have they compromised on that or claimed on that for Gunther? A little bit. At some points they did. They did with, when it came to the Royal Rumble and everything like that. But again, whether it was chicanery or it was just bad luck, he was supposed to do Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania, and again, whether it was chicanery on Rey's part or whether it was at Rey's actually being injured, they couldn't do the Rey match. Some say they probably should have did the Gunther, they should have did the Brock match, things like that, whatever. Kind of the way they've been doing Gunther over the last couple months. Cena, I think, is actually fine. It's actually fine. Gunther doesn't need to be this guy who never loses a match. And has these long winning streaks and everything like that. He doesn't need to be that guy. Oba doesn't need to be that guy either. But I think as of right now, just to get him to the point where you want to get over to superstar status, that might work. But yeah, it doesn't need to be over as well. So. Yes, Cena's happy that he finished his own way. Punk and they do show Punk. He's already coming out. Punk even tells him, you and Dave did this for Hogan in 2005. We're gonna do this for you 20 years later. So they did that, and everything like that. Cena went out the way he went out, and it was good. Episode 3 was Rise and Rumble. Here's one that I think has a lot of the people talking. So they originally wanted to do Braun Breaker winning the Royal Rumble, right? However, Triple H maybe thought that having Braun Breaker win the Royal Rumble could make people feel that he was being pushed down their throats, right? Now, here's where I get to tell the IWC, this is what you get. For those of you who think that this was wrong and you would have been okay with Braun Breaker winning the Royal Rumble for years, and you're still doing it. You have said that WWE has pushed Cena, have pushed Roman. You're doing it now with Jay. You said Charlotte. You said Becky. You said Rhea recently. You said Bianca Belair. You said so many times that the WWE has been pushing somebody down y'all's throats that the one time that the WWE have heard you and said, well, we don't want to push him down his throat. And then y'all go, oh shit. Yeah, that's what y'all get. Because if you think they've pushed people down your throats, first of all, you don't understand wrestling. Because they're big stars. Big stars are always going to get the pushes. Big stars are always going to get the titles. Big stars are always going to get a lot of the TV time. That's what makes the money. morons. And it backfired on you because you don't get Braun Breaker into the Royal Rumble. You get Roman Reigns. Which I don't think a lot of people, I don't think a lot of people hate it. But I'm sure they would have liked to see Braun Breaker get it. So this is what you get. Good for you, morons. Self takes a little bit of time to reflect on not manning WrestleMania. Even in the past episode, I didn't mention this, but when he hurts his shoulder and he's talking about, he asked the cameraman or the producer, what is today? And the producer tells him, and then he immediately goes into calculating how long is it, because how long is it gonna be to WrestleMania, and can he get back? He's already pitching going through his mind of what he has to do to get back ready. So, and this is about injuries as well. So they go back to War Games where Braun Breaker took the Doomsday device from Cody and Punk, and he lands on his neck, and everybody was worried. So something that we didn't see was Braun scooted to the cage door. The doctors came in and talked to him, and they were so worried that he might be hurt. They were already willing to change the match. Because they said, can Bronson do what Braun do? Because Braun got the victory. He got the victory over Punk, I believe. So I guess they were just going to have Bronson get the victory over Punk at this time. But Braun was okay, and he finished the match. And God willing, he wasn't hurt, seriously or at all that time. We'll get to something else in a second. Yeah, but so then after do this, Triple H talks about, well, as we've lost Cena, we had a scare with Braun Breaker. Maybe we need to do something, and they talk about calling up Obafemi and Trick Williams, and they talk about themselves and everything like that. Oba's got a real long Nigerian name, of course. Trick Williams is Matrick Benton, I think. Belton or Bilton. Matrick Benton. So that's a perfect name. Trick Williams. Yeah. So this Trick is in his name. He's probably been called Trick all his life. Just because we all give everybody nicknames. He's probably called Trick all his life. So it just made sense. Trick, and gave him a last name like Williams. Boom. It works. Perfect. They talk about him and Lash Legend. We don't get Lash's real name. We don't need it. But you get about him and Lash and everything like that, and what happened there. And apparently Lash loves elephants. So Trick took Lash to like an elephant farm, and they were bunch of elephants. And I don't know why they put this in here. I guess they do all of this stuff for like comedy effect or something. But when they are with the elephant, one of the elephants, the elephant pisses for 2 minutes straight. And you can just see it just coming out, and Trick is 1 gallon, 2 gallon, 3, and he looks back at the camera and is absolutely floored. Can't believe how much Elliot pissed. So then we get something. I forget who this is. I didn't write this down. But Triple H talking. And Triple H talking about it's not about the moves. And this is another thing that I've always said, that one of the things where I can't say, and I'm going to bring up Jey Uso again. Because many people will say that Jey Uso can't wrestle. And I guess they say he can't wrestle because his moveset is limited, where he doesn't work in a fast pace, or he doesn't do German suplexes or Hurricane Runners or all this other bullshit that they love to do. But that's the thing about wrestling. I say it all the fucking time. Wrestling is actually the last thing you need to know how to do to be a professional wrestler. You need to learn how to talk. You need to have a look. You need to know how to talk. If you know how to talk, you need to know how to work. And working and wrestling are two different things. It's always been two different things. Wrestling is like the moves that you do. Yes. Working is what you do in between those moves. How does that work with your character or your gimmick? All of that stuff. That's why, like, if someone wanted to say Bret Hart was the better wrestler, a better wrestler than Shawn Michaels, I may not disagree with that. But who was the better worker was Shawn Michaels. Because Shawn Michaels, who worked with a lot of big men, he knew, and think about all the big men he worked with, he always had their best match. Diesel, Undertaker, Sid. I don't think he worked with Kane. But let's think about all the big 7-footed guys. He had a match with Vader. Their best match was with Shawn. Because he knew about how to work the big man, small man thing. He knew it better than everybody. And anybody's ever knew how to do it. That's why he's the better worker / in-ring performer of all time. So it's never been about the moves. And that's something that people on there and the rest of us need to get over. We check in with Chelsea Green. This is her season 3, her 3rd time on the show. But now she has Matt Cardona working with her. So, and we check in. The last time we saw Chelsea on Unreal, she was building a house. The house has been built. It's been fine. Chelsea talks about so many things, and she talks about her toys, the room full of toys that is Matt's hobby, and she says she would rather have Matt being in a room full of toys, playing with a bunch of toys, than out playing with a bunch of women. And I think that's what a lot of women need to understand. They'll get upset at their boyfriends and their husbands for playing college football or for playing Madden. There was even a thing on TikTok about GTA 6 is coming out later this year. So the GTA 6 contract or something like that for all the ladies to give to the guys. No. Would you rather? Would you rather them be playing GTA 6, or would you rather be that they're playing with Geraldine Thomas Anthony or whatever? I'm trying to find a woman's name that start with the GTA acronym. But you'd rather be playing with some type of woman. So I mean, you want to be playing GTA 6. So get over it. It's not video games and other activities are not that big of a deal that you should, be worried, and anything like that. So get over that. So yeah, we got that. So they're doing the Royal Rumble. Charlotte broke her veneers in the match on the Sol Ruka 45 flip clothesline. But she was okay. We get nothing on Bree's return, which that shocked me. We got nothing on Bree's return. We got nothing on AJ's retirement. Which is shocking. Now maybe they didn't sign off on it. That could totally be the thing. Maybe they said no, I don't want to do anything like that. Just maybe she feels it, and he feels that, to talk about her, she need to talk about Daniel Bryan, and Daniel Bryan's in AEW, so you just can't do it. and maybe AJ just said, yeah, I really don't want anything else. So, um, we get the men's match, and we get the Rumble, and Oba did good in the match. He eliminated by Brock Lesnar, and Oba went to the back, and I love this about Oba. He was he's told Triple H, and if I screwed up, rip me a new one. He wanted the criticism. Triple H, no, you did good, son. You did good. So I like that, and off of this, Triple H knew where he was gonna go. Roman won the Royal Rumble, obviously, but he thought the biggest thing coming out of the Royal Rumble was that he had Oba Finley and versus Brock Lesnar set for Mania. So, and then that was episode 3 of the Rise and Rumble episode. Episode 4 was Life Happening, and this is where we start with CM Punk, AJ Lee talking about Larry, and his dog Larry, their dog passed away, and obviously very, very sad thing. You know, I am someone that will scream from the mountaintops. A dog, a cat, a bird, a fish, any pet is nowhere near close to a child. And to call yourself a cat mom or a dog dad or whatever is so disrespectful. Especially if you actually have kids. It is so fucking disrespectful. With that said, Punk and AJ don't have kids. Don't think they ever will have kids. I'm not going to go too deep into there and anything like that, but you just knew that you can totally love your pet like they were your child, but you can't treat them or think they are your child. And I think without doubt, again, Punk and AJ loves Larry, and even though it's been a few months, again, want to send my thoughts out to them because it was very sad to see. So this episode is called Life Happens. They're going to talk about Naomi and her pregnancy, and that goes from that opens up for Stephanie Vercera, and because Stephanie Vercera, she gets onto her backstory in a match somewhere. She broke her nose in like 3 different places. Insane. We get her doing the Spinal Tap finish, but she puts a different spin on it from when AJ Styles did it. So that was that. We go back to Braun Breaker, and this is where Braun Breaker gets hurt. Braun Breaker gets hurt somewhere crazy. He gets talking. He was talking. When he was talking, everybody was holding his back. If he stepped the wrong way, and while he had the microphone talking, and he got a hernia. Insane. He said he sat down. They did a couple pre-tapes. He sat down for one. They did one pre-tape. He sat down. They were looking to do the other pre-tape. He get up, and he couldn't move. He couldn't get up. He was locked. So they had to take him to the hospital. Insane. So then they decide, well, since Braun's hurt, they're going to put Bronson Reed. But then guess what? Happens to Bronson Reed. He gets hurt. He gets hurt. In the match, the triple threat match, with him with Jay and thing, and that was for the Elimination Chamber match, as you remember. And that stuff happened, and then it's just like, really? And everybody's like, are we cursed? Are we cursed? I did. So for the first time, we get Rhea. We get Rhea inside the chamber, and she's talking about she's gonna do a bump where she jumps from off the top of the pod onto the mat onto Raquel Rodriguez, so we get that. Um, During the match, Rhea kind of busted. She did an electric chair to Tiffany, and Tiffany busted her nose, but it wasn't broken. And she was very happy because she liked her nose. Yeah. We get stuff on the Punk and Balor match. We get stuff on the AJ Becky match. AJ won't kiss Punk because his mouth was busted open. And we do all of the men's chamber stuff, the stuff with Steph coming in there, stomping, Logan Paul, everything like that. We get all that good stuff. Yeah, a lot of good stuff from the backstage stuff and everything like that. Life happens. And then the 5th episode was the grandest stage of it all. So we're getting down to WrestleMania. Cody's in the WWE archives, and they show a shot where they've got so many caskets. From all the times they did casket matches or casket themed things, events with the Undertaker. So there's so many caskets. We get the whole Stephanie and Liv thing from backstage, which is the crazy one, and we get the backstage footage of this where Stephanie pushes Liv into what's her name, Roxanne, and then she picks up Liv and throws her into the thing, and she gets that big knot on her head, and it's insane. Some people were even saying that even up to like a month ago, she still had the knot, a little part of the knot. So that was insane. So then we get into we go to WrestleMania. We talk to WrestleMania. Liv Morgan is practicing her song for WrestleMania. We see that. We see AJ Lee practicing her interest with the AJ Legion, as she called it, the Legion of Little Girls. It's still like a really funny thing where on the actual show when AJ comes out with all of the girls, one of the kids says, "Fuck this." she runs right back. It's the funniest goddamn thing in the world. Braun is back, and he's going to run in on the Seth and Gunther match. They do the things with Cody and Randy, and they do the thing like Cody. Cody seems, Cody does like some interviews where he seemed to be very, it seemed to be a very shooty interview. We talk about Pat McAfee, but maybe he was just working. Because backstage they showed that he seemed to be very okay with Pat McAfee backstage, and thanked them for doing it. Thanked him and Jelly Roll for doing what they did. Because they wanted to get them out of the way so that Cody can just do this. Cody was going to be jealous, but he was not jealous. He was going to be aggressive in the match, but he wasn't going to turn him heel. And Triple H said maybe with even a kind of a hint of hopefulness, they might turn him heel. That could be something that could work. Cody says he loved the match, but the end goes away because Randy punches him above the head, above the eye, and opens a wound. So he has a wound opening up on his head. And after Cody wins, Randy hits him with the belt in the back of the head, which opens a wound, which is insane. And then when he goes for the punt, Cody doesn't move. He just takes the punt full on, and that completely just fucks his whole eye up. And everything like that. And Randy is so apologetic afterwards and everything like that. So, and then he apologizes to what's the name to Triple H. He apologized to Triple H because the mat was just awful. And they showed the picture. They showed it like Bud grew of it. It looked like a crime scene with all the blood and the stains and everything like that from Cody and maybe even some from Randy. It was just what it was. So, So night 2, Trick and Oba get some words from John Cena. They talk about they talk about Oba, do the Oba match show the Oba match from with Brock. Mention nothing of the Brock retirement, which I'm going to say is a good thing. Keep us on our toes as to whether it was genuinely a work or he genuinely retired and you brought him back out of retirement. Keep that shit secret. That's one of the secrets that I'm okay with not telling. Trick match with what's her name? With Tammy, and then the main event, the CM Punk main event, and that was the entire thing. We got no sit downs from Roman. Obviously got no sit downs from Brock. No mention of the Brock retirement. No mention of the AJ retirement. No mention of Bree's return, Paige's return, any of that. So I don't know if that's going to be in season 4 or what that is going to be, but that was season 3 of Unreal. I thought it was again. I was again thought this was very good. Something you see someone with the backstage stuff that's going on in WWE. It's always, I think, very interesting. The gorilla stuff is always interesting as well. Nobody got reamed out like LA Knight did last season. So that was good. Even though Oba was looking for it. If I fucked up, Joe, let me know. Rip me a new one. So yeah, I thought it was a really good point in time. So good for them. I really enjoyed it. I think again, if you watch season 1 and 2, season 3 is a given. And if you haven't watched 1 and 2, I would say go back watch 1 and 2 and watch this one as well. I think it's a really, really good show. Alright, y'all. That'll be it for this episode of That's the Shoe. Post your comments down below. Tell me what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think of WWE Unreal Season 3. Did you like it? Did you not? What do you think was your favorite part? What part didn't you like? Let me know down all in the comment section. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. This is your boy, AJTRIP, signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.